Okay, so I just got my 20 rows done. So you're looking at about 5 inches. So what I'm going to do now is you weave a really long tail, because you really do need a very long tail. I need to turn the light on. Oh. And now what you're going to do is you're just going to go along this edge, grabbing that top little bar of the loop right at this top here. You just keep going. You can tighten this one. It'll be when you go around the next time. You don't want to pull too tight just yet. You just keep going around this bottom or top edge, whichever you want to call it. Collecting all these stitches at the top so that you can tie them in together. Now I'm going to go around again when I get to the end, which I'm coming up. And I don't want to pull it tight when I get there. So I pull it tight now. And now you just want to leave whatever's hanging out. You want to leave a little bit of a loop until you can go through all the way around. You can pull just a little bit, but not too much. And then you just go around collecting this edge. So now that I'm back at the beginning, you're going to tighten and pull the first thread. Not too tight, being very, very careful not to pull too tight. And you're going to pull this one as gently as you can do. So you just kind of pull it as tight as you can, trying not to break it because it will. So be very careful when you get to this part that you don't pull too much. And as you can see, it's still open a bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around, try and tighten it again. And that way you don't break the thread. Because I was starting to feel like I was pulling it too tight there. So you're just going to go around, trying really hard not to tighten it up. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put my needle through the bottom. Pull it inside out. So as I said, if you wanted to make a hat, it could be. This one is, however, much smaller. It would be a child's hat. Okay, that is not going to be the outside. That is going to be the inside. So I like it the back way. So we're just going to reverse it. So that is the inside. I have a few imperfections already. I'm going to stuff it. I will be back in just a second and show you how full I stuff it. So here it is. I like to fill it as much as I can get it full. And you just kind of try to make sure you get as much in as possible. I do not believe that is going to be enough, so I'm going to pull a strand off my yarn. Oh, these scissors suck today. And then we're going to tie it up. And you're just going to do the same thing you did on the bottom. Just grabbing this edge. And now with this one, I'm going to leave a bit of a tail so I can go around the other side. And then I can just tie both the tails up. And as you see, I do overfill it. You do want it full. So that way it is full. Oh, I didn't need to do that. Now I'm going to pull it out again and redo this. And if you do not have stuffing, this is a good time to use your leftover tails. The problem is you definitely want to put them in nylon because you will have the tails come out at some point. All your darned off ends and stuff like that, they will actually start to come out after a while. I did discover that when I use that as stuffing instead of actual stuffing. I mean, even this stuff will probably at some point peek out, although I have to admit using the 3.5 millimeter, this pink one doesn't show any of the white. So hopefully that will be the key. I did get a nice small hook and you won't see the stuffing of this pumpkin. And I do understand it is a reddish burgundy, but like I said, I already have an orange pumpkin. I have a purple pumpkin. So I wanted to do just something slightly different. We're going to pull this one out. And I'm going to grab this one. We will go around again. Just to try to ensure that you actually do have a good couple of threads going through this end so it doesn't come undone on you. It's the important part. You really don't want this to come undone. And as you can see, I'm not worried too much about tightening right now. Actually, I'm kind of doing it myself. As I go around, I keep tightening it as I'm going. And then I get to the end. And I tighten both of them. See if I can tighten just a little bit more. And tie them off. And that way I don't pull it through. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around again just a little bit. Just to ensure that I don't have any pulling out up here. I don't want to lose this thread, so I'm just going to keep going around for this particular row. Just going to pull it together here. And as you see, I was able to just pull it just that little bit more closed. And now you're going to take the needle and you're going to push it right all the way through. And now for this, you're going to come and do that again, all the way through. This is where you make the pumpkin ridges. And what I like to do is tighten and then do a second one. And I do find that after the second one, on the third one, you've got a nice tight ridge. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come directly below it, so exactly across from it, needle through again. As you can see, I didn't get it quite right, so I'm lining it up right. And tighten. And if you pull too tight, you will break the yarn. But if you do this gradually, so you just kind of, that was number 2. and you get to number 3, and then you go on to making. So now you have 3. I don't know what you want to call them, ridges, bumps. Go straight down, and it's not quite working. There we go. I'm going to pull it out, knowing that I'm getting really close to the end here of this yarn. I'm going to tie it up to this one, and then I'm not going to worry about that. So put that one in there. Grab this one. Now I'm going to tuck that tail in, and now I'm going to make this one. Now this needle actually does have a bend in it, and it will come in handy later on. There's that. We are very close to being done, and I will be knitting the stem. I'm sure you could make an easy crocheted version of the stem. I just really like to knit it. It comes out really, really nice. And as I've said on other projects, I do very much like to have knitting and crochet together. Now I'm going to do in between. So now you're going to have 8 ridges when you're done. You go again. The center. And that is why you want to be careful that you do not do that. It can have a weak spot in it, so you just want to tighten up. Making sure you tighten this really nice and tight. And then I'm going to go in, and because I really don't know which one it is, I think it was this one. Come back. And now if it was this one, that's wonderful. I'll double it up, allowing me to make sure that it won't come undone. As I said, you do use a lot in the wrapping of the pumpkin. Just getting the 2 lined up because the one was off. And you just, like I said, you do this for all 4 areas. Now I'm going to add a little bit more because I can see that I need it. So I'm going to finish off, since it is just wrapping. And that way I'm not wasting your time showing you stuff that you've already seen me do, simple and easy to do. And this is also why I always say with this particular pumpkin pattern, you're never going to have too much of a tail. You'll always end up not being terribly worried about how long your tails are because of the fact that you end up using so much of it. So I'm going to continue finishing splitting these ridges up. I've got 2 more to go, and I will show you what's next for the stem after that. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cast on for this. Like as I said, I am going to knit this one because I very much like the look of a knitted stem. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And now you're going to knit in ribbing for 2.5 inches. So 1 in front and 1 behind. And that is how you're going to do this row and every subsequent row. So I will be back when I have 2.5 inches, and I'll show you how I sew it up. Okay, so I've cast it off. I've got my 2 inches. So pull that one out. Now I want to fold that down. And I'm going to grab my needle. And for this I used just showing 3 1/4 needles. So those were the needles I used to do the 2.5 inches. And then gonna tighten this up. And you're just gonna keep coming over and just trying to work on it. And you just kind of tie it up. Just gonna finish it right here. Grab your pumpkin. Now this is where the needle that's bent really does come in handy, because you can, there we go, turn it that way, flip it, and then it comes right out nicely, easy. So you don't really have to do too much just to get it in there. I'm going to go over to this side. If you noticed, I grabbed the black there, so that's okay. Tuck that back down. And that's pretty much twisted. A good twisted stem. And there you go, you have it. So I'm going to wait and grab this one now and just kind of tighten this one in. Tighten that one in there. I'm going to right there. Tie these 2 up. And then I'm going to put them through the pumpkin and pull them out through the bottom. That is pretty much how you make this crocheted pumpkin. So there's one. Same thing with this one. Just kind of pull them out. There's my stem. There we go. Trim these off. And there you have it. There you have a pretty little crocheted pumpkin with a stem in 2 different colors, both in chenille. And I hope to see you again. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you again another day. Bye.